Hi everyone, welcome to Program 5 of our new JSC English Second Language video series from Namcol. This is also our very last program in the series. In this program, we aim to assist Namcol and other learners enrolled for JSC English as a second language, as well as others who are interested in improving their English language skills. Our topic today is about listening comprehension skills. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to listen for information, know what to expect in the final JSC exam for the listening exam paper, and identify keywords in listening comprehension questions. The listening part of the end of the year examination is relatively easy, but that does not mean you should take it lightly and not prepare for it. Let's hear what Ms. Amakali has to say about the importance of listening skills. Ms. Amakali, can you tell us why so many grade 10 learners are failing paper 3, the listening comprehension examination at the end of the year?
Well, many learners think of listening as a skill that requires no thought or focus. As such, listening comprehension is often overlooked by learners preparing for the final examination. However, what many learners don't realize is that listening is one of the very fundamental skills in language learning, in addition to speaking, reading, and writing. As a child, you first develop your listening skills and then take in the speech that you hear before developing other skills such as speaking, reading, and communicating.
So, what can be done to assist the grade 10 learners of this year?
Listening comprehension is probably the most difficult task for almost all learners and should be practiced as often as possible. The important thing is to listen. The next step is to find listening resources. So, it is clear that we need to practice our listening skills on a daily basis to prepare ourselves for the final JSC examination, paper 3. Right. As you all know, at the end of the year, you will write a listening comprehension exam, which will count for 20 marks and is approximately 30 minutes long. Now, you can easily score full marks or very high marks if you pay attention in today's class. Now, this is a cover of last year's examination paper. Also, what you should first note is that the examination will be in English. Yes, Samantha?
How many texts and questions will we receive in this paper, ma'am?
Now, the listening comprehension paper will consist of 2 sections. Each section has various lengths of text and will be read to you twice. Exercise 1 of section A has 5 short statements with questions requiring 1-word answers. Now, each statement will be read twice and you should provide the answer immediately after the second reading or while listening. In this part, it is important that you underline keywords in the question to identify the answer easily. If the question is, what time will the bus leave? You should immediately listen out for a time. You should first glance to the set of questions for which you will be listening, then read the questions and find out what specific information is required. Name, place, date, number, etc. Circle the keywords, clue or trigger words, and when the reading or tape starts, you should listen intently when you think your specific information will come. Now, for example, number 1, Kevin is arriving at London at. Number 2, Dave will be waiting for Kevin at. Number 3, Kevin will be wearing a. Number 4, Dave will be accompanied by. And then, of course, number 5, Kevin is coming to Windhoek for. It is obvious from the above that the key word for 1 is at, and you will be writing a time. In 2, you will write a place. In 3, clothes. In 4, a person accompanying Dave. And in 5, the purpose of the visit. So you have already guessed what to listen out for.
Am I allowed to underline the keywords before the statements are being read?
Absolutely. You will be given time to read the questions before the statements are read to you. Now, during that time, you may underline the keywords for the information you need to listen out for. Let us continue. Question 2 of section A has 5 multiple choice questions or true or false questions that will be asked. For this section, you need to underline the keywords which can provide you with the most suitable answer for the multiple choice options. Remember to read the statement carefully before deciding which one is the most suitable answer. Also, try and listen attentively during the first reading so that you can listen during the second reading whether you have made the right choice. For the true or false questions, you need to underline the key information, which will make the statement either true or false.
So I make my decision during the first reading and listen attentively during the second reading whether I have made the right choice.
Correct. The second reading should preferably be the second chance for you to make sure you have given the right answer during the first reading. Now let's continue. For section B, there are also 2 parts. There is a semi-formal conversation or monologue requiring comprehension of factual detail demonstrated in minimal written response, example, full-length answers giving explanations or reasons. Now in exercise 1, you will need to respond to questions requiring short answers. During this part, underline the key words and ensure that your answer is short. You are not required to give a lengthy answer, so don't waste your time writing full sentences, okay?
So ma'am, basically your answer should only be for what the questions ask?
Sure, only answer what is required. For example, why do African women wear pants? You don't need to answer, African women wear pants because so, so, and so. No. You only give the reason they feel powerful. So first, underline the keyword why African women need to wear pants. You should note that you need to provide a reason. So when listening for the text, you listen for the reason while the reading is continuing.
And the last part, Miss?
Well, in the last part, there is a conversation or monologue with questions testing just comprehension and the ability to identify attitudes, emotions, causal relationships, requiring answers up to sentence length. Now, in exercise 2, which is the last part of the paper, you will have to respond to questions requiring you to write sentence length answers, including some application. This basically means you will hear the answers straight from the text. You will have to apply the answer from what you have heard. For example, were the learners happy with the results? If in the text it states that the learners were complaining and boycotted the results, your answer should be, the learners weren't happy with the results because they were complaining and boycotted the results.
Meaning I have to listen attentively and understand the text and message of the text to answer correctly?
Yes, you will have to make sure that you are listening to every word and make sure you underline the keywords to ensure listening out for specific information. And very importantly, try to answer during the first reading.
Sure. Miss, will that even be possible? I mean, since reading so fast, will I even get time to write all the answers down?
Yes, it is possible. So that's why it's advisable not to answer in pencil, as pencil answers are not accepted and you might not get time to rewrite your answers in ink. Now, this takes practice. So listen to English programs on the radio. 2 things are important here. Radio, not TV. Because TV has visuals, plus visuals and scenes distract us. The other important thing is to listen and don't just hear.
Shall we summarize what we have learned today? We learned about listening comprehension today to better prepare you for the listening part of the end-of-year examinations. Listening is a skill like any other that requires practice to master. To improve your listening, make sure that you know what specific information is required from a written text even before reading it. Circle or note down keywords. Listen carefully for the first time a passage or writing is read. Take your first notes using keywords to record the important information, and use the second reading to confirm what you have noted. The listening comprehension exam consists of 2 sections. Section A is for short answers only, and you need to only give the required answer. Section B is for long answers, where you have to write down sentences for the answers and even apply keywords in sentences written in your own words. Well, we've come to the end of today's program in our 5-part series for JSC English Second Language in Grade 10. Please participate in our SMS competition. The rules are as follows. Send your SMS to the number 5003. In the message box under the number, write down the keyword for today's program, which is the word listening. Then identify the correct option, A, B, C, or D. Remember to choose only one answer, please. We have a prize for the winner. Here's the question. When should you answer the questions during a listening exam? A, during the second reading. B, during the first reading. C, at the end of the first reading. Or D, at the beginning of the second reading. Here's the question again. When should you answer the questions during a listening exam? Is it A, during the second reading, B, during the first reading, C, at the end of the first reading, or D, at the beginning of the second reading? We are waiting for your SMS. Maybe you could be the lucky winner of our special prize. Thank you very much. We've come to the end of today's program and series. I hope you've enjoyed the series and are ready for the final examination of Paper 3 and Paper 4. From me, Jean-Caroline Kazimbu, until the next series. Goodbye and take care.